All right. All right, Colts fans. We are back with another film session interview, and here we are with Colts running back Jonathan Williams, who I think right now you're not signed by anyone, right? Which is kind of crazy. Have you had communication with the Colts or any other teams to come into camp or anything like that?
So far I've been letting my agent handle that. I've just been trying to make sure that, I'm staying in shape, working out, and, that I'm ready to go when the time comes. I'm sure something is going to happen soon, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no rush to it right now anyway, especially with the COVID and everything going on. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities when training camp rolls around. But we have John on here today because we're going to be talking about some of his games from last year, some of his plays from last year. And honestly, we had those two huge games from you about halfway through the year against the Jaguars. I mean, you absolutely killed in that game, coming in like halfway and playing a lot of snaps. And then the Houston game, you got your first start, and they definitely relied on you. I think you had almost 40 carries in that game. And so they were just feeding you the rock the entire game. So those two big games, we're going to talk a little bit here. But I kind of want to ask you about that Jaguars game to start off, because that's what we have right here on the clip right here.
Yeah.
After you were with the Colts for almost a year at this point, almost a full calendar year. You hadn't really got much run in the games, but obviously they liked you. They kept you on the roster. They definitely wanted to get you involved. You finally got your big opportunity, and you were able to take the most of it. I mean, how did that whole game kind of feel for you to get on the field in a regular season game and produce like you did?
It was kind of surreal. I have a lot of confidence in myself. My work ethic and how I work throughout the week, regardless of if I'm in the game plan or not. But it had been a while, that I had truly gotten to feel that energy and the excitement and the joy of actually playing in a real game again. Almost been since college, honestly. So it was fun just to be able to get out there and play with my teammates, guys that you battle throughout the week with, and get the victory against the Jags. So it was a great feeling. It's very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to talk about a couple of the clips here from this game and also from the Houston game the next week where you got your first start. But, I'm sure going into this – maybe not going into this week, because I think Jordan Wilkins didn't play. So I guess that's why you were able to kind of get more snaps regardless. But when Mac went down, what was kind of the message from, maybe Coach Rathman or Jacoby Brissett when you got in the huddle? Was there any kind of message they sent you, or is it just, you stepped in there and it was your job,
No, it really wasn't any message that anyone said to me. It was, I just stepped in and, went with the flow kind of. I actually played a lot more than I had even knew I was going to play. The play that you have up on the screen right now is a play that I rep throughout practice, and it was more of a, block. And, I was happy with whatever way I could get on the field, whether it was blocking or pass protection. And that was kind of more of what I was expected to do going into the week was blocking. And just the way that things worked out, I was able to get a couple carries and it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's start with this first clip here, because this is one of my favorite ones from the Colts all year, and definitely one of my favorites from you, despite, the big runs and stuff. There's a great play here where they had Nyheim Hines in the slot. I love the two running back sets. I know they had a couple of two running back sets with you guys in this game, and they bring Nyheim across, and they do like a tap pass to him, and you're getting out of the backfield here on the side. And you come around the corner there, and you just lay out the corner, which is a great block there. And it probably would have been a bigger play if, and this isn't me critiquing Jack Doyle at all, but I think he gets held here on the end, and he's not able to climb like he would want to. So that probably would have been a bigger play if he wasn't illegally held. He was even looking for the call there. But, you're the lead blocker on this play, and you're obviously something that you were expecting to do, something that you've been good at your whole career. We talked about it last year when you and I talked on my whole podcast. How do you feel as a blocker though, as a running back? I know it's a big part of the game. It's something that Rathman talks about. How comfortable do you feel kind of making these type of blocks?
I feel comfortable, and it's just something that you work throughout the week. If you're going to be a football player and you're going to be on the field, you have to be able to make plays without the ball in your hands, as well. So, it was a great setup by Nyheim. He's trying to stay on my outside hip. It starts with your alignment. So, my outside leg is supposed to be on the inside leg of the tackle. We try to keep all of our alignments similar, just because we don't want to give off, what you're gonna, any pre-snap reads. And basically, I'm trying to reach the outside defender. So I'm not trying to let him. I'm going for his outside leg, and Naheem can help me with that by staying on my outside. So
Yeah.
it's a great setup by Naheem, and I was just able to shoot through that outside leg.
Yeah, I love it, love it. So when you have the play like this, right before the snap here, are you identifying, this guy right here is the guy you're getting, or is it whoever the furthermost like outside defender is?
I have a pre-snap guy. He was my pre-snap.
Okay.
Or actually, I can't see the. Can you play it a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, I guess we have this guy right here.
So yeah. So actually,
that's your read route. Yeah.
It was a different look than we had got at practice actually. With those guys being, I don't know if they were aligned correct or not, but it was a different look that we had in practice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get the outside guy, the widest guy.
Yeah,
so,
the corner.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then Doyle is trying to climb up to the second level after helping on the outside here. This is his guy right here, ideally. But he gets held by the tackle, and that holds up there. But yeah, I love these type of plays. It's definitely something that you and I have talked about. The couple times we talked is your physicality and your blocking. And I know Coach Rathman is really big on that too from you guys. What's his kind of mentality? What's his mentality when it comes to, I guess, overall blocking, pass blocking? I know we talked about this a while back, but what's Coach Rathman's, I guess, mentality when it comes to blocking either in the run or the pass game?
He's a physical guy. I mean, everybody knows his motto. I mean, how he played as a player. He wants you to go hit him, hit him in the mouth. So, he kind of gives us that, physical, that I don't even know the word I'm looking for. It's hard to explain Rath a little bit, but he definitely motivates you to go hit somebody in the mouth, and I think this is the type of block that he was looking for on this play.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I mean, I remember every time I watch this play, I'm always thinking like, yep, this is something that Rathman would love.
Definitely. I knew I made him proud whenever I got the guy down. It was fun going into the meeting room that next Monday, Tuesday, and watching him get excited about making that block. So I think blocks are more exciting than touchdowns to Rath.
What about to you? Are they more exciting than touchdowns for you?
I wouldn't say that. I love it. I love doing it, but I wouldn't say it's more exciting than touchdown.
He'll eventually get that mindset in you. That's what it is. So getting to your first big carry, I think this one went for about 16 or 17 yards here. Again, the two-back set, you and Naheem out there. And I think this was before Marlon went down with his injury. So this was just a normal sub play, and you got out there. And, you take the inside handoff, and, you got an open lane there for days. The first thing I want to ask you, though, is, regarding this whole offensive line here, I mean, that you're playing behind one of the best offensive lines in football. I mean, Costanzo, Nelson, Kelly, Glowinski, Braden Smith. I mean, those are just some mauling guys up front. And then even Mo Alley Cox, I think, is one of the better run-blocking tight ends, too. How much easier does that make your job when you have a line like this in front of you? Because, I mean, this hole right here just off the gate is huge for you to make a play.
Yeah, it's huge having guys like that, and you can never tell exactly where the play is going to go. You have a lot of pre-snap reads, but then you have those guys that are athletic and hungry to make blocks, and they're making reads on the fly, and they make it a lot easier for you to make these type of runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely here. And I love the jump cut that you hit right here, middle play. So obviously you have this big lane here. You're getting up the lane. Quentin Nelson is knocking the guy inside, and you're able to jump back outside and create some more yards. Is a jump cut something that's always kind of been – I remember when I watched you as a college prospect, the jump cut was really big in your game. But when do you kind of know when to use that jump cut, and how big is it really for your overall game?
It's huge. I think every running back, every good running back has a good jump cut. And for me, it's not something that, I really think about. I'm more of a reaction type of guy. So I couldn't even tell you what I'm going to do before I do it. Honestly, sometimes I go back and watch the film, and it surprises me when I see, what I do sometimes. So it's more of just a reaction thing. The more the thinking that I do is pre-snap. Trying to see the techniques of the DN or a three technique, whether in a three technique or a shade. This is an outside zone run, so I'm reading the DN. I'm reading that block. He's outside, so my eyes are inside. I see the Quentin, or who's that, Kelly. he picks up that what is it?
Yeah. He runs out 95 out the backside there.
Yeah. So he makes that read easy for me. And then after that, it's just reaction.
Mm-hmm. And then one more great thing about this run here is the way that you finished it. I really like, at the end of this play, it's, the guy from behind trips you up a little bit. You're able to run through 36, his arm tackle, run through that physical tackle before falling forward. And again, it's another big thing that Rathman preaches is being physical with the ball in your hands, even is running through guys and falling forward. But how big has that always been for you? I know it's something that's always been part of your style all the way since, college and your time with the Bills. You've always been that kind of running back. But how big is that for your type of game?
It's huge. Even dating back from high school and the high school that I went to, honestly, I just try to have a nose for the end zone and finishing runs. I'm really trying to go score. Every play I feel like I can go score a touchdown. So that kind of helps me finish runs because I'm still fighting for every inch that I can get. So, it's huge. Definitely in the NFL, in any game, it's a game of inches. So you want to fight for any inch, any yard that you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then this next clip here is probably the one that everyone knows and remembers from your game. This is your huge run. Actually, no, this isn't the huge run right yet. This is the catch. And I remember hearing a really good story about this that I believe Nyheim Hines was supposed to be out there for this play. But you were on the field. Was that a miscommunication or something, or what kind of happened with that play?
So it's a crazy story, actually. It was third and something before. I can't remember the before. And I was in for protection. I think there was a penalty on the play, so they backed us up to 3rd and 19. And the headset went out. So I was already in the game, and Rath didn't get the call. He didn't get the personnel call, so he wasn't able to put Nyheim in. And by the time that he could hear the personnel, we were already calling the play, and the play clock was already dwindling down. So I had to stay out on the field. And I remember hearing Jacoby call the play, and I'm like, what is that? I hadn't worked the play. Obviously, I've seen it ran before, at practice and paying attention to practice and, taking notes on it, just in case it was for me. But I had never ran the play before. And honestly, no one runs the play but Nyheim. So I was kind of shocked that was happening, but I knew exactly what to do. And I think that kind of threw the defense off too a little bit. So it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, even if Nyheim's out there, I'm sure the whole defense is going. And I'm not saying that they weren't taking note of you, but you could tell that it wasn't as, I think 44 is even one. He's just pointing over there. He's not really getting over that way at all. And then you're able to make a really good play off it. But, that's hilarious. The headset went out. And so you had never run this play in practice before. Only Nyheim has?
Only Nyheim, yeah. But the good thing about it is that just throughout my time in the NFL, I understand how you have to be ready for, any moment at any time. And so I knew the exact details of the play. I knew my width, where to line, how far to get back, to catch the ball. Because if you're too deep, I'm not going to be able to set up the blocks that way, So, just the small details of the play that make the play was something that I was dialed in on. And I think that is ultimately what helped me make the play.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I want to talk a little about setting up blocks. I mean, the next clip on your big run is definitely going to be a better example of that. But I mean, even here, when you're right at this point, right? I think it's right around this point. Obviously, you're setting up this block because you want this guy to commit here, and then you can cut back to the inside here, and he's off his angle. So even though, I mean, you don't go super hard in here before cutting out, even this first step coming this way has him committing all the way up here and takes away his angle completely, and you're able to get upfield. When it comes to setting up blocks and kind of manipulating defenders like that, I mean, how big is it for a running back to kind of be able to block unblock defenders by doing things like that?
It's huge, and that's when you make the big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we have a great offensive line, but you have to be able to break tackles. You have to be able to make yards on your own. And that all, depends on what helps that is patience, being able to press those blocks and have patience not to just hit it right away, but to be able to press the blocks and run off your blockers.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting to the play I've been talking about here, this one right here. If it loads, there we go. All right, so yeah, this is a great example of kind of being able to set up your block here. I mean, this is the huge play, play of the game for you, probably the play of the season for you, maybe outside the Houston touchdown. But yeah, just great footwork by you, be able to get upfield, nice stiff arm, and get down the sideline. And you were nearly able to get in the end zone, almost got
I wish
there.
I had it back. I wish I had it back. So many things I would have done different at the end of the run.
But real close, still a highlight reel run. But the moment that I loved here was, obviously this first sidestep is great, getting up here, but right here, oops, I wanted to see my technology knowledge right there is not great, but right here, you're basically showing this defender out here that Eric Ebron is about to block that you're going to go up to the middle, and that's why he's committing all the way down. And the second he overcommits inside, you're able to plant that leg and get back to the outside and kind of set up that block there, which I love. That run manipulation there, that's what creates big plays, like you just mentioned there. So was that kind of going, like once you got through the hole right here, was that kind of going through your mind to kind of commit in and bounce it?
Yeah, a little bit. I see the leverage that Eric has. I always like to say that, really I just want guys to get in front of guys. I'll try to set everything else up. I just need guys to get in front of them. So I see the leverage that Ebron has, and I just try to play to that and set that up.
Yeah. And, playing running back, I don't think people realize it, but I mean, when you play in full speed here, it's so many things that have to go through your head within, 4 or 5 seconds. Right here, you have to sidestep, step forward, run through the tackle, step in, bounce outside, stiff arm, and then get down the sideline. I mean, it's 1,000 thoughts that have to go through your head. Just how big is it for running backs, though, to be kind of quick processors here? Because, again, it's that first step to get around the first block, step through, break the tackle, jab inside, bounce out, stiff arm. It's a lot of that thought process. How big is being able to think on the fly, not only well, but also really quick in terms of being a good running back?
It's huge. I mean, that's everything. I know that you were asking me what I was thinking on that as far as setting a block up, and honestly, I wasn't thinking too much. It's more of just a reaction thing. Things happen so fast that you don't really have time to think about it. It's more of I put myself in that situation so many times in my life, and I've seen it so many times, and my body just kind of does it. And I think that's what all good running backs have. It's not really a thought process. It's more of just reaction. You're just doing it almost. It's kind of it's weird to explain, but it's happening so fast that it's not really a thought. Like I said, the more the thinking that I do is more pre-snap stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see the techniques of the defense and the shell of the secondary and things like that. But I have initial reads and landmarks that I have to hit. As I'm receiving the ball.
Mm-hmm.
After I hit those landmarks, it's kind of just reaction from there.
Okay, so let's talk about landmarks here. This is a wham block where Mo gets across the line here. He kind of gets into that sniffer roll, and he's coming back and getting that backside, defensive end. So what landmark are you trying to hit on this particular play?
So I'm trying to hit the backside foot of the center.
Okay. So Kelly stops in, and then you're trying to hit right there, which you do. I mean, you get right there on that backside foot. And then from there, is that when you're just kind of reading where the best, option is for you from there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're reading the – so can you rewind it a little bit?
Yeah.
To the play?
Yeah.
So right here, I'm reading the shade that Kelly's blocking.
Okay, right here.
He's my initial read.
Okay.
And from there, you kind of just feel the linebackers. Your eyes are moving quick. That's more of where the quickness comes is your eyes. You have to have disciplined eyes. You have to know what you're looking for. So it's, a lot of guys say that, you can just hand a running back the ball and they're going to make it happen. But you have to have disciplined eyes. You have to know what you're reading. And you have to know your landmarks. And once you hit those, that's when the reaction comes.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I've noticed with a lot of the running backs that the Colts have brought in, from especially guys like Naheem and Marlon Mack, those younger guys who in college they were mostly just athletes. But now you're really seeing these guys being like great patience, great vision, good eyes or whatever. How does Coach Rathman really help these guys? Or maybe it's just what they're training. But in your experience with Coach Rathman, how does he really help you guys get better with your eye discipline and your patience and your vision?
He's a no-nonsense guy, and Whenever he tells you, the details of a play, he wants you to repeat those details exactly how he told you to do them. So
Okay.
he's a repetitive guy, and just through that repetition, it kind of gets ingrained in your mind. The things that you need to look for, and which ultimately allows you to succeed.
All right, perfect. Now, last question about this play. You get right here. What would you do differently next time?
I would just run, make them tackle me. I was running. I should have switched the ball and stiff armed them.
Yeah.
I felt that it would slow me down a little bit, but I should have just switched the ball and forced him to tackle me. I don't think he could have. I don't think he would have. Maybe I need to do a couple extra sprints at the end of practice too, so I can have some more wind. But I definitely should have just kept running and tried to force him to tackle me. I tried to cut back and slipped and fell, and I definitely wish I could have had the end of the run back.
Yeah, but hey, still a great run on a great day for you. And I think I have one more clip here from this game as well. But yeah, it's still just an excellent overall day. How many yards did you end up running in that game? I think I should have it right here. Do you remember off the top of your head? Something maybe?
112, 116, something.
Yeah, it was only 10 carries though.
Yeah. So that was nice. It helped my average out a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And I just brought this one in because, again, I just like seeing that quick eye discipline here is I believe this might be a backside counter. Or no, it looks like it's just a dive.
Yeah, it's just a dive, yeah.
But, I mean, I just love the footwork here by you to be able to change up your momentum, cut up the field, and then, able to fight through for extra yards. So I just want to throw that in there as well. It's just that eye discipline and that vision there is just, especially when they know the run is coming. They knew at this point in the game you guys are going to run the ball. So to be able to get the 8 yards there at the end, I mean, I think that's just an excellent run there as well. But yeah, this game was great. And it was, someone who's, I've talked to you for the past year here and met you at training camp, talked to you before the season. It was definitely fun for me to watch, but I can only imagine how great it was for you and your family watching everything like that. Did you guys celebrate after this one?
Not really. Not like, you might imagine, just because we had a Thursday night game soon. And Marlon had went out that game, so I knew that was going to be a big game for me to, try to continue the success. So, really, I let it go, got it out of my mind, and started, preparing for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, and then let's get into this Texans game here. I like 2 clips from it, but a lot of this game was kind of grinding it out. You had to grind for every yard. They knew you guys were going to be running, probably because it was a short week. They knew that the run game is definitely easier to install than passing concepts on a short week like that. And you guys were running the ball a ton. You got your second career 100-yard game. Just an overall really good game here. But again, we have another kind of it's like a wham where he's the lead block on the inside here. On this guy. So is your landmark still the back of Kelly's inside foot here, or what guy are you reading on the defensive line on this play?
Yeah, that's still the landmark. Still the landmark, still the same read. I know that I have I can't cut it back because Jack is there to pretty much seal the backside off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of still a field read. I can't get front side just because of Glow's block and the way that he's blocking them. Being on my landmark, I can make that read. I'm not too wide. If I'm too wide, I can't make that jump cut back. If I'm too tight, then, we won't get the flow from the linebackers like we have here. So those landmarks and those reads and that eye discipline is very important.
Awesome. Was there anything that it was kind of said to you, I guess, throughout the week? Because you kind of, I'm sure that you realized before this game, I mean, like you said, at the end of that Sunday night game, at the end of that Sunday game, you knew that this was going to be your game to get the ball. Because I think Jordan was still banged up. Marlon was definitely out. Was there anything throughout the week said to you by Rathman, anybody that really came out to you and said, be ready for this game? Or was it kind of just business as usual? They knew that you'd kind of be ready for this.
Yeah, pretty much business as usual. I appreciate those guys there. They didn't try to, put any extra added pressure on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they know, and they knew the way that I worked, and they knew that I was going to prepare and work my butt off throughout the week. So, it wasn't much that they really had to say to me. I think throughout practice, they saw how excited hungry I was for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I want to get to this last clip here, which is just another really fun play. And this is your touchdown against the Texans.
I love it.
Super fun play here. So I want to ask you here, right when we get to the middle of the play here, this is my favorite part. Right here, what's going through your head?
Honestly, I had to make the play because the play that we watched just previous to this was a similar play, just the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a play that we had just put in the game, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Or that week. So it worked. I was last play I was going, and it was more of a reaction play. Actually, we put it in at halftime.
Okay.
In the halftime.
Right after halftime, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a play that I kind of just reacted to it, and I saw that, okay, Jack is kind of a lead block on this play. So whenever I heard it again, I kind of already pre-snap told myself, hey, if it doesn't look good front side, if it's not clear, I'm coming back and I'm going to Jack. Mm-hmm. So whenever I cut back, I kind of felt like, maybe I rushed it. Maybe I already pre-decided where I was going to go. So I'm kind of upset with myself, like, I have to make something happen because I had a bad read. So I kind of got a little jolt of energy, like, I can't let this guy tackle me because I already made a bad read in my mind. So after I got out of that block, everything else kind of just happened for itself.
Yeah, that was so fun to watch. I mean, first off, though, just taking that.
I'm kind of honestly right here. I'm kind of panicking. Like, I shouldn't have came this way.
But I love it though. You fight through this first contact here really, really well. Take a little bit of a helmet to helmet there. You can see your head jolts up a little bit. And then you're able to fight back, and then you just got the one-on-one, and you let that stiff arm kind of go there. I love that stiff arm that you have, by the way. Is that something that you've been, I guess, working on a little bit in the NFL, or you always kind of been good with that stiff arm?
Yeah, it's been something that me and my dad worked on as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, we would be, in the living room playing football, wrestling and stuff, and he'd have me switch the ball and stiff arm him. So it's something that's always been a part of my game.
Yeah, absolutely. But this play is super fun. Definitely fun to watch back, and that's what I love about football. Though you can have the little panics, and you can have the wrong reads. It can then turn into big plays and stuff. But yeah, that's hilarious there. And this is another great game for you though, and I love that they were run the ball in this game. And I actually have a shirt here. Let me see if I can run the damn ball on right now.
I love it.
So that's part of this game right here. But yeah, man, this last season was really fun. Those two games definitely made it, a pretty fun season, even though you guys weren't able to get the win here or kind of get in the playoffs. But yeah, looking back on your time with the Colts here, because I don't want to make any assumptions. Obviously, you're still handling a lot of stuff like that. But they drafted Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. They obviously brought in a couple backs. So I'm assuming that you might be moving on here this offseason here. But looking back on your time with the Colts, though, I mean, how would you kind of look back on that period of your career?
It was a great time. I love the city, the fans. That organization is truly a great organization. You have a really good head coach in Frank Wright. A great GM and Chris Ballard, a guy that really cares about the players. It's definitely, I would say, I don't want to disrespect any other organizations, but I would say it's one of my favorite organizations for sure that I've been with. Just the way that they care about the players, and just the locker room as well. All those guys in the locker room are great teammates, great guys. That's a great locker room to be a part of. So I wish nothing but success for them, and I'm sure they're going to have a lot of success just because, like I said, from top down, everybody's hungry and excited there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one thing I want to ask about Jonathan Taylor, with your experience of Coach Rathman, Taylor is a great running back. You watch college football, I'm sure, these last couple of years. Great running back. They brought in a really talented guy. But the one issue that he's had in college is the fumbling issues. The fumbling has been something that he struggled with. How is Coach Rathman from day one gonna get on him about that and kind of get it in his mind that you can't fumble?
He'll let him know that he will not be on the football field if he does fumble. I'm sure Rathman won't have any problem helping him out with that. And, with stuff like that it's obviously if he's a player at that caliber, he can hold on to the football. It's mainly about just having that mindset and knowing that you have to have that ball high and tight and just having it. ingrained in your head that you have to take care of the football, which I'm sure Tom he'll do. He'll ingrain that in his head that he has to take care of the ball. So I think that's something that they can fix.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I want to say thank you for joining us here. And it's kind of like I don't want to say it's like a farewell to Colts fans, but, Colts fans a lot last year, especially through these 2 games, were loving on some Jonathan Williams. Definitely something that they really enjoyed following your journey with the team from, practice squad guy to bottom of the roster to big-time performer in those 2 big games there. So I appreciate you jumping on here and talking some ball last year and going through some of these fun clips and stuff. But, anything you want to say about just to the Colts fans or whatever before we end this show here?
Just that I appreciate my time there. Hopefully, I didn't disappoint. I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to, but when I was able to, I was able to produce a little bit for you guys. So it's all love on my end. And maybe we'll see each other again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's not rule out the reunion yet, but I appreciate you jumping on, man. And it's been a pleasure just following your career this last year or so and getting to know you a little bit. So I appreciate you jumping on, man. And you have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. All right, let me end this here. Stop video. No, that's stop video. God damn it. Every time. Stop.